And welcome back to the lab in Resident Evil.
Oh boy. Barry lives, we live,
Of course,
and now we're
Barry
just
lives.
going to find out what other little scientific joys
Big
await
science.
us.
Big science.
Look at that shiny thing at the bottom of the
Yeah.
screen. It's very weird knowing that there is the Magnum gun, but it's such a weird feeling hoping you never have to use it.
Well, we're gonna use it. You know that's part of a corpse. That's great, Joe. Where did I see that? All right, just walk forward. There you go. There you go.
Yeah, it's nice to have it, but it's weird to have the idea of I have this really powerful gun. I hope I never
Yeah.
have to use it.
Well, it's like in JRPGs. The act note. I'll finish that thought after we read.
Okay.
The act note. Researcher's note. There is now evidence that when the host loses consciousness, the body goes into a dormant state. During this time, the virus becomes active and rapidly transforms and reconstructs the basic composition of the body.
Ouch.
The host eventually mutated into a humanoid creature. We call them Fiacs. Its speed and amazing muscular development are particularly noteworthy. After transformation, it becomes more agile and aggressive. Already 4 of our researchers have died from trying to feed it, turning the place into an instant bloodbath. Ever since this tragic and barbaric accident, we have decided to call its kind Crimson Heads.
Ooh.
The dangerous and precious prototype specimen can't be left there. We have to figure out a way to deal with it. Termination is definitely not an option. We finally decided to freeze the specimen and confine the body inside the basement of the backyard cemetery.
Now wait a second. We fought Crimson Heads and they're not very fast.
What? Yes, they are. They chased down Jill and hit her. The reason that we haven't been fighting a lot of Crimson Heads is I've been avoiding fighting a lot of Crimson Heads.
Okay.
But no, we fought at least 2 Crimson Heads. We
Okay.
fought one in the hallway.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, so there's a note later on that'll tell us all this, but I know it from playing Resident Evil. So our login is John. And our password is, this might ring a bell,
A-D-A...
Ada.
Ah!
So John and Ada are characters from RE2
Mm-hmm.
that play a significant role. And the password for B2 is Cell, which you learn that from a puzzle in one of the rooms. But
You know, those things that they keep screwing with around here.
so we unlock that, and we unlock basement 3. So
And the maps.
everything's unlocked. Big unlocks. And so good job, Jill. You did it.
Putting that big brain to good use.
Yeah. Is there anything back here of note?
Besides the
Hey.
corpses hanging like dry cleaning.
Yeah, it's a lot like RE or RE4. It's labs. But yeah, nothing spectacular. So we're just gonna get out of here.
We're just gonna walk away from here.
But yeah, John and Ada are characters first presented in RE2.
Okay.
That Ada's kind of renegade kind of person, and then John's a scientist that works for Umbrella.
Are they like a couple or?
Let's see. John thinks so. Ada. Ada is always using everybody. So Ada just uses everybody.
Gotcha.
Because Ada has her own motives in every game that she's in. Alright, so this X-ray thing is how you figure out the cell password. So you would put in X-rays and spell out words, and I don't feel like doing it.
Okay.
But we can read this note, and this is how we figure out John and Ada. Researcher's letter. June 8th, 1998. My dearest Ada, by the time you read this letter, I will no longer be the person you once knew. The results of my test came out today, and as I suspected, it came out positive. I feel like I'm teetering on the edge of reason, just thinking about my impending doom. I would give anything not to become one of them. As far as I know, you are not infected. I sincerely hope things do not reach such a desperate pass, but if it has turned out that you are not the last person remaining alive, I want you to get the material from the visual data room, the room we were just in.
Mm-hmm.
Then activate the self-destruct system in the power room and escape from here. Please do everything in your power to make this whole accident public. If everything is still running normally, you should be able to release all the locks using the security system. I have set up the terminal in the small security room so that you can log into the system using my name and your name as the password. You will need another password to release the lock of the the lock of the door in the basement level 2 where the visual data room is located. As a safety measure, I have coded that password into an X-ray picture. Row rentgen blah blah blah. I know you, and I'm sure you will be able to work it out without any trouble. There's just one more thing, and it is my last request. I hope you never have to lay eyes on me in this state, but if you happen to run into me in my hideous form, I beg you to put me out of my misery. I hope you understand. Thank you, Ada. Yours truly, John.
Okay. See, that really answered my question
John.
because I wanted to know if they were a couple, because you have to suspect something to that extent when, you know, he says, oh, this is my name, and your name is the one I set up as the password.
Right. Yep, good old Ada. Good old Ada. Always teasing Leon.
Oh, is that what she does in the next one?
Well, she does that in 2. And she does that in 4. And she does that in 6. So, yeah, pretty much if Ada... I know you're in there.
Hi, John. Yeah, I'm guessing that's John.
Sure.
We'll go with that.
Alright, good enough. Alright, John. I'm not Ada, but I hope this will do.
Yeah, one beautiful woman setting his corpse ablaze, just as good as another.
But yeah, good old, let's see.
Slide filter.
Yeah, that's for a puzzle.
Oh.
Sure, we'll take it. We're filled up on junk.
Incendiary rounds and tape and...
Yeah, we don't have room for any of that junk. Let me... I think in the other room I missed a machine. Let me... Not that one. In the previous room, there's a machine where I can put in that disc. And we need that disc for later on.
Okay, so... This place, I'm trying to wrap my head around all
What?
of it.
What, the lab or just the whole mansion?
The whole mansion.
Oh, yeah?
The lab's pretty, self-explanatory. This is where they were conducting their experiments to actually create a virus that brought back the dead to weaponize and send into areas, etc.
Easy here.
But I'm just trying to wrap my head around the whole mansion itself, because you said the Spencer Mansion's been around obviously since the 60s.
Yeah, uh-huh.
And that guy wasn't all there to begin with.
Spencer?
Yeah. So, trying to wrap my head around the idea of this old guy who was kind of batshit crazy meeting up with a corporation more batshit crazy and setting all this up to create something that's batshit crazy. It's just mind-boggling when you consider all of the planning and preparation that went into this.
Yeah, I mean, this is all the culmination of, 30-odd years of research and secrecy and conspiracies and...
Yeah, and when you think that it just all went to hell so quickly, and the fact that, Bravo team was the dry run of all this, and then Alpha team was sent in to see everything else.
Right. Well, Bravo team was sent in a few hours before Alpha.
Didn't we find out that the Bravo team was basically like the guinea pigs for the zombies to see their effectiveness?
So Bravo, yeah, let's not touch that. Is it just there? It is. You idiot! You could have just turned the corner. All right, I get it. So the reason Bravo and Alpha were sent in weren't to deal with zombies at all. That in Raccoon there were murders taking place, and Raccoon City Police Department called in the stars for contingency. They called in Raccoon City, or Raccoon City called in stars to help with the investigation.
Okay.
And so the investigation led them to suspect the woods in the outskirts of the Arclay Mountains, which is where we are.
Mm-hmm.
That's when the dogs attacked us, and we ended up in the mansion. That later on we learned that because stars got too close to the sun, they were ordered to be eliminated.
Okay.
But originally they were sent in to solve a serial killer.
Okay.
But the contents of this fax are confidential and intended for the named addressee only. Any copying or disclosure of the contents of this fax to any third party is strictly forbidden by the sender.
Usually what confidential means.
After reading the contents of this fax, it must be destroyed immediately. Yay, good job. We expect significant increase in the damage done by the recent T-Virus's outbreak than initially estimated. There are several concerns. First concern, more than half of the researchers have been infected by the T-Virus and died. It has also been reported that almost all of the supervisors of this accident are starting to show symptoms of the T-Virus infection. Second concern, our secret security patrol team has also been completely eradicated. Therefore, our most secret research is in danger of public disclosure. Quick actions are demanded to prevent mass media coverage. Third concern, there's a high possibility that most of the specimens are running loose inside the compound. We expect many casualties to follow. However, yet unfortunate, these casualties underscore the success our research results. Action must be taken to prevent the research results from being made public. We suspect the first official intervention will come from the state police and STARS. We strongly recommend taking measures against them first.
So basically just reiterating what you were
Right. That
expositing.
That because of the outbreak, STARS and the police who were investigating the murders, we're gonna come upon this place anyway, and so it's in Umbrella's best interest if STARS is eliminated right here and now.
And they're doing a fairly good job of it.
Yeah, I mean they've taken out pretty much an entire team, and they've reduced the members of Alpha Team to just a few as well.
Mm-hmm.
But in the next one, we're going to continue to make heads and tails of the lab and the Spencer conspiracy as well.
All right, till next time, everybody.